Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. In the latest episode, we explore life's joys and sufferings and what it all means. Do we always get what we paid for? Find out now.
The Descent Package by Mike Young. Chapter 1. The Cups Run Over. Morning light spilled through the kitchen windows the way it always did, soft, golden, warm. Jeff stood at the stove, barefoot on cool tile, flipping pancakes. The tiny silver dollar-sized discs were stacked like towers, just the way his daughter Hannah liked them. Her feet swung from her chair as she waited, humming tunelessly, her hair still messed up from sleep. His son, JJ, sat across from her, half awake and pretending not to be. He had reached the age where showing enthusiasm was uncool. Even so, when Jeff set a plate in front of him, he couldn't help but smile big. "Thanks," the boy said, voice cracking a little. 13 was like that. Jeff ruffled his hair. JJ usually pulled away from his dad, but not this morning. Annie came down last, wearing an oversized sweater that hung from one shoulder. Her smile found her husband the way it always did. "Morning," she said, leaning into him to kiss his cheek. She smelled like warm sheets and the mango lotion she kept beside the bed. "Morning," he replied. It was quiet, peaceful, ordinary. They drove to school with the windows cracked, autumn air sweeping in. The kids argued about music. JJ told his sister her pop music was made up of the same songs over and over with a different singer. His sister replied that his metal was just angry noise. Jeff pretended to be annoyed at their discussion, though he loved every second of it. He dropped them off with a wave he always gave and 2 taps on the side of the car. His wife squeezed his hand lovingly as they drove away. "You're good," she said suddenly. "At what?" He laughed. "At this," she said, gesturing at everything and nothing. "Being a dad, a husband, living life." The compliment hit him the way compliments sometimes do when they come from the right person. He felt deep emotion welling up inside of him. "Yeah?" he asked softly. She nodded. "Yeah." Jeff went to work. His job was nothing exciting, but it paid the bills. It also allowed him to take the family to Disney every year. He worked for a cybersecurity company. The specifics of his job were technical and difficult for him to explain to people, but it had its occasional rewards. He particularly enjoyed knowing that he helped others avoid online scams, even if it was through indirect back-end programming. At lunch, Jeff strolled outside and watched leaves dance across the pavement. The air was breezy and crisp. He loved the feeling that it invoked. It was refreshing and helped him focus. As he walked, he took it all in. "I'm happy," he thought to himself. Not excited, not exhilarated, just satisfied. That evening, the family sat on the couch together, watching a thriller they'd seen before many times. Annie rested her head on Jeff's shoulder while the 2 kids sat on both ends of the couch, watching the film intently. Teddy, the family dog and all-around greatest mutt ever, was curled up next to Hannah, comfy and content. The family munched away on Hawaiian-style popcorn, complete with seaweed seasoning and mochi rice crackers. Jeff didn't pay a lot of attention to the movie on this night. Instead, he pondered how lucky he was to have all of this. His family, his home, his job, his excellent health. A blessed life. I am blessed, he thought with a smile. Chapter 2. The Moment That Breaks. The old Buick was dead. The engine wouldn't turn over when Remy attempted to start it back up. His girlfriend, Kelly, sat in the passenger seat looking distressed. "Well," Remy finally said as he sat back in his seat, "I don't know what else I can do. I guess I'll walk back into town and get some help." "No, don't do that," Hannah yelled out from the couch. She always got so emotionally involved in stories, even though she and everyone else knew what would happen next. Even Teddy perked up, though this was more because of the girl's sudden outburst than any actual understanding of the movie. "Shush, dummy," JJ responded to his sister. "I'm trying to enjoy the—" Suddenly, a feral cat fell out of an overhead branch and clutched Remy's head with its razor-sharp claws, holding tight. Remy spun in frantic circles, shrieking, while the cat clung tight. The kids were expecting it as they'd seen it many times, but still they jumped. Everyone jumped, in fact. Then they laughed like only a family who really get each other can do. In the middle of this, Jeff grabbed his own head. The kids hooted at their father's crazy antics. But this time, he wasn't just being a wacky dad pretending to struggle with a wild cat on his head. Something was actually wrong. An intense headache had seized Jeff right as he was laughing along with the family. It grew so quickly and so painfully, it took him by surprise. He pulled himself up off the couch and staggered around, making uncontrollable groans. The kids were no longer laughing. Teddy looked fearful. He whined and fled the room. Jeff continued stumbling in agony. He reached for anything that he could hold to prop himself up, but only knocked over every glass, picture frame, decoration, and the like in his blind confusion. Annie stood up and grabbed him by the arm. JJ hopped up as well and helped his mother sit Jeff back on the couch. The pain continued to intensify. "Hannah, call 911, Annie yelled out. She began stroking her husband's hair and whispering to him that everything would be okay, but it wouldn't be okay. The last thing Jeff experienced was the looks on his loved ones' faces. The fear. Real fear. Their frantic words. Stay with us, stay with me, please. Just stay. Daddy, please, don't go. Daddy. Jeff could hear sirens in the distance. I am dying, he thought to himself. All he could think about was the fear of leaving them behind. In his weakened mental state, he knew their last image of him would haunt them the rest of their lives. He had to fight whatever was happening. He couldn't leave them with that pain. Then everything went quiet. Chapter 3. After Life. The bright light that came next wasn't altogether unexpected. Jeff had heard many stories from near-death experiences and disembodied souls following the light. Still, he never imagined experiencing it firsthand. With the light came a deep sense of peace. Peace like Jeff had never known. At some point, though he couldn't tell if it was minutes or hours, or even just seconds, the light began to fade. Slowly, the overwhelming brightness dissipated, and shapes and forms began to emerge. It was subtle at first and a little puzzling. There was movement, then sounds, voices. Then it faded out, and he was asleep. When he awoke, his mind was much clearer, and he could see better. He found himself in a white room. He was lying on some sort of ultra-comfortable bed. It was cloud-like, in fact, like the soft, touchable clouds of cartoons. He turned his head and looked around the room. The walls were like the bed. They, too, had the appearance of clouds, but they were more stiff-looking, and there was a soft glow coming out from them which lit the room without the need for lighting. As he took it all in, he had a sudden realization. His pain, it was gone. His head felt absolutely no discomfort. In fact, it felt good. His whole body felt pleasant. It was a wellness he couldn't imagine if not experienced for himself. Then he understood where he was. I am in heaven, he thought to himself. He sat up quickly and, with the nimbleness of a kid, hopped out of bed. There was a sign on the far side of the room. It read, "Exit." He paused for a moment, then walked briskly to it. He reached out to touch the wall beneath it, looking for a handle of some kind. Expecting it to be at least as solid as the bed, he lost his balance and stumbled through what he discovered was not solid at all. Like a hidden door in a video game, he went right on through to another room. "Ah, Jai, you are awake," came a strange voice. Jeff looked around for its source. A being covered in all white robes set an object down on a table and began floating over. For a second, Jeff tensed. Then he suddenly felt peaceful again. "Where am I?" Jeff inquired. "Am I dead?" Then he added, "Are you an angel?" The being removed its hood to reveal the warm, smiling face of what definitely looked like an angel. Humanoid, yet divine. "I am indeed an angel. Of a sort, anyway." So I'm in heaven?" Jeff asked. "You can call it that," the angel responded. "And you can call me Raphael." Jeff pondered what Raphael said. Before he could ask a follow-up question, the angel interrupted. "How was life?" he asked. This question caught Jeff off guard. It was a uniquely afterlife kind of thing to ask, and he wasn't prepared for it. I don't recall," he responded absent-mindedly while he thought hard on it. "I don't even remember my—" "It was Jeff," the angel interrupted, anticipating where he was going. "Your name was Jeff." Hearing his name was jarring for a moment. Then the memories started flooding in. Chapter 4. Read the Fine Print. Jeff was seated in a cloud chair as Raphael and two other angels sat in similar chairs before him. He recounted his life as the memories returned. It was one story of good fortune after the next, as he progressed through childhood, teenage years, adulthood, and family. Then he got to the Tuesday that changed everything, his mind filled with memories of the intense headache, the confusion, the terrified looks on his family's faces. "Oh my God!" he screamed out. "My wife, my kids!" One of the angels hovered to him and gave him a warm embrace. The pain numbed, allowing Jeff to calm down. "They watched me die," Jeff added more calmly. "They could do nothing to save me. I could do nothing to save myself." Jeff put his head down, then added, "It's okay." He motioned for the angel to give him some space. The angel did so, and all three watched the man, allowing him to process his thoughts. Once they felt he was ready, Raphael spoke up. "Do you know your name?" he said. "Jeff, of course," Jeff replied with a look of confusion. "Jeff Anderson." "Yes, that was your name. Do you recall your real name?" "My real name?" Jeff responded. "I don't have another—" Jeff stopped as something occurred to him. Something oddly nostalgic. Jai? Jai is my real name." The three angels smiled broadly. "That's right. You are Jai. This here, this room, this world is reality. You were in a simulation, the Descent. Do you remember going in?" Jeff, or rather Jai, thought about it. He began to dig deep into his muddled memory. Then it hit him. "Yes, I bought a package, right? And there were 5 of us. We all went in." "Yes, that is correct," Raphael responded. "What else do you recall?" "We bought the premium package, Suffer Smart Unlimited." The memories came fast now, and Jeff began rambling just as quickly as they surfaced. "All 5 of us. We were looking for an escape. Something different. There's no pain here, none. We needed a world where we could feel pain, and Kai, Jare, Hara, and Toon were all part of it. We got a group discount. I remember now. One of the other angels spoke up. The voice was deeper and exhibited more authority. "How was your experience?" the angel asked. "How was it? Well?" Jai thought about it some more. It was nice, I guess. Everyone was there. We were a family. I was the father. Everything went well. There were very few problems. Actually, I don't remember any problems until the end. That may be because you used your lifelines when problems presented themselves, the angel responded. Do you remember? What do you mean? I didn't use any lifelines, Jai replied. You didn't pre-purchase lifelines with your package, but you requested them along the way. Remember when Hannah was sick? She was on her deathbed. You prayed and pleaded to make her better. I don't recall that, Jai responded. Hannah was never sick. I don't think that ever happened. I assure you it did, the angel replied. In fact, you used 5 lifelines during your time in the simulation. No way, Jai responded defensively. I think I would remember a major event like my daughter almost dying, and whatever those other 4 bad events were. The angel looked at the others, then turned back to Jai. You don't remember because it was erased from your consciousness. Every time a lifeline is used, the simulation stitches reality back together in such a way that the unpleasant event is completely erased. You don't remember it happening. Others in the simulation don't remember it either. But the system remembers. In fact, you've already been charged for the lifelines. Jai processed what the angel had said, then felt growing irritation. Wait, you're telling me I paid for suffering, then paid again for it to be removed? What kind of scam is that? It's all in the contract. You agreed to it, the angel replied matter-of-factly. Jai fell back in his chair, overwhelmed and defeated. Chapter 5. A Choice to Feel. Jai was too tired to think about anything else for a while. He requested rest and was taken back to the room in which he had found himself earlier. He slept deeply for many hours, and when he awoke, his mind was clear. He got up and passed through the wall door into the other room. Raphael was there. He looked up as Jai approached. Ah, Jai, do you feel better? The angel asked. Yes, I do, Jai responded. I've been thinking, he added. Yes? Do you have more questions? I do. Where are my friends? My whole soul pod was in that world. I died. Are they still there? Excellent question, Raphael replied. They are still there. They're grieving your death. Why don't you bring them back out? It sounds terrible, and in any case, one of their team members isn't with them anymore. Why would we bring them out? They paid for that package. Suffering is exactly what they were looking for. You gave that to them when you died. Then, the angel added, in fact, now that you're not requesting lifelines anymore, they're free to suffer in myriad ways. Jai pondered this deeply. It made logical sense, but still didn't feel right. Maybe he was still in Jeff mode. Jeff did everything he could to make his loved ones happy, yet nobody actually wanted to be. In fact, he was holding everyone back. Okay, he finally responded flatly. Then an idea occurred to him. Can I go back in? Is that possible? Raphael smiled compassionately before speaking. I'm sorry, but it's not possible. Jeff is dead. Too much time has passed. You can't return. Well, how about I return as someone else? Can that be done? Jai asked. This can be arranged, Raphael responded, much to Jai's surprise. You can go back in, but I can't guarantee who you'll be or where in the world you'll show up. Yes, that's fine. I'll take anything, Jai replied excitedly. I only have 2 requests. Sure, the angel responded. I want the maximum level of suffering, Jai requested. I think that we can do that. It'll cost extra, though. Whatever. I don't care about the cost. What's your second request? Jai laughed before speaking. It had an oddly sinister tone. Then he got serious as he continued. I want lifelines disabled, no matter how much I beg or plead or pray, no matter how bad it gets. I want the full experience. When I finally die of old age in that world, or from being mauled by a virtual shark, I want to have gotten my money's worth. Chapter 6. A Second Descent. Jai was strapped down on a cloud bed with metal instruments over him, humming and whirring. He was drifting to sleep. I am going to get what I paid for, he thought to himself. His Jai consciousness faded into the shadows of his mind, and a new one took its place. In a perfect world, suffering is a luxury good. Anonymous.